Sounds good. Thank you for doing this. Nice to talk to you again.
Nice to talk to you too. Nice shirt.
Yeah, I know. I know what I was doing.
You
Um,
did.
so
It.
you know, it's a good time to wear it for once. Last time we spoke, it was for the God Committee, and you certainly picked up an actor when you worked there last. When it's funny when I see when someone is making their debut, who they cast in their movies, and it kind of lets me know who they enjoyed working with over the years and who you know they want to spend time with. Because I think as much as anything else, you have to want to be there, right? You have to enjoy what you're doing and enjoy the people you're surrounding yourselves with. So, how do you sort of figure out who you want to go on this adventure with? Because it is kind of a lark on the first time.
I wanted to cast all my friends,
Yeah.
but there weren't enough parts. But we'll start with Kelsey Grammer. I had worked with him on the God Committee, and because we didn't have trailers, we had dressing rooms and like sometimes cubicles. I kept hearing him singing opera when we were in our downtime, and it was because he was practicing for a run in London of Man of La Mancha, which I ended up seeing, and he was phenomenal. So I was like, when he said he would do this movie, I was like, well, I have to write him singing in it because it's extraordinary. Um, and then Isabel Furman, I had worked with on Orphan First Kill, and I was actually adapting the screenplay at the time in my downtime. And I would go to set every day and watch her as a 23-year-old pretending to be an 11-year-old. And I just thought this girl is so talented. But I also saw that she really had the stamina to be the lead in a movie where she's coming in and in every scene, every day, that requires a lot of dedication and a lot of energy. And she had it. And I needed that for Wish You Were Here.
Totally.
And some of the smaller parts are friends of mine. And I had done a TV show with Jordan Gavaris, who plays Isabel's brother in the movie. And even though he's talked about a lot in the film, uh, but not seen that much, I wanted more of him. I wanted more screen time with all my friends. But Mina, I didn't know personally, but I had seen him in Aladdin and also his TV show, and I just had a feeling that he's like, oh, he's an old soul, and he's going to ground Adam in a way that I really needed.
Right. And the thing I really noticed and appreciated was how confident everything feels. I think, when it's a debut, everyone kind of pays attention to like, oh, what are they doing? But I think you would never know unless someone told you. This looks and feels like a movie from someone who has directed 10 things because I think the tone is so confident because it is when it's funny, it's a comedy. When it's heavy, it's a drama. It can be both things in one scene. And I was very taken by how quickly I went, no, there's none of that stuff I usually have to look out for and kind of, grade on a curve. It's just a good movie made by a good filmmaker.
Ah, that is such a huge compliment. Thank you so much. I'm just going to take a moment to take that in.
Like,
Thank
no,
you.
of course. No, but like how do you know it's time? Because obviously you've been in the business for a little bit, and like I'm sure it's not the first time you thought of it, but how do you figure out I want to one spend the time and also two just start doing it? Because once you do it, it's done. You can never do another first one.
Right, right. I was looking for years for the right story to tell and kind of shyly wanting to direct, but there was nothing that pushed me over the edge. And then was sent the book Wish You Were Here, and I fell in love with it, and I had a visceral reaction to it. And I thought, this is it. This is and it was the story that gave me the confidence to go, okay, I'm ready to make a movie. And then you have to finance it and get it in production, and that took 5 years. And at any point in that time, we had hit different roadblocks and different obstacles. And there were times when I could have just jumped ship, but I was like, and I thought, oh, if we never make this movie, like it'll amount to nothing, all this work.
Yeah.
But there was, I just had a feeling like this is the right story. And there are people around me that also have an emotional, visceral reaction to it. So that encouraged me to keep going. And to be honest, the story has only gotten deeper and more meaningful since we set out originally to make it. So there's something under there that has like bubbled to the surface, and the movie kind of took on a life of its own that has sustained my interest.
Oh, yeah. And it speaks to, I think, just having good taste and stuff. Because when you're an actress and you're just looking for a role, you want to make something that you respond to. You want to make something that you're going to enjoy, that you think other people have a similar feel about. And I think to do it and also have to worry about your cast, filmmaking, everything about it. Yeah, you can't just go this one will do. This is fine. I'll just do this. So I think it really does rub off. Like I don't think it's possible to watch the movie and not feel like, oh, she really cares about this story and wants the audience to do so as well. It really is something you feel watching it.
Oh my God, you're just full of wonderful things to say, and I really appreciate it, especially from a grown man with a little romance movie like this. But I have to say that I feel very vulnerable with this film, not only because I directed it, but because the story, I wanted it to be, even if there's, moments where you're crying and sad and choked up, there's moments of levity, but I wanted it to be not cheesy or sugary or whatever, but I want it to be a hopeful movie. And so I just hope that, and that's a bit of exposure. Like I hope that people can turn off the cynical part of their brains for like 90 minutes and open their hearts and enjoy it.
Oh yeah, and I think it because it doesn't insist upon we're just building to the sad thing. Like I think it's pretty good that it's upfront about like by the way we're not gonna shock you with this part, but so much of the movie doesn't need you to be concerned about that. So it kind of has more of a yeah, like in life things are gonna be sad when they're sad, but like in between they don't necessarily have to be. And also the fact that it's not digressions, but it's just here's a full bit of her life that I think is unique. It's very much a book would do that, but most movies and I think even adaptations would kind of cut a lot of that out and be like, well, it's just how quickly can we get him back into the story? And I think it's so interesting. That's like, no, no, she needs to live a whole life because there's before, there's after, there's during. Like there, this is just what life would be.
I mean, I think in terms of his absence, I was saying earlier that like his absence in the middle of the story makes his presence later more powerful, but it is very much an element of the book that I responded to initially is the idea of being ghosted. There's a very
Yeah.
contemporary idea of
Yes,
you
it is.
can have a great a first date with somebody and feel like you're connecting with them, and then you never hear from them and what happened. And uh, I didn't want to shy away from that, but I needed like a visual
Yeah.
reminder of him, and so that's what the mural became.
Nice. And as we wrap up, when you direct again, because I'm pretty confident you will, how much are you concerned with not doing the same thing twice, or is it just I just need another book or script or something to be, speak to me in that same way, or do you specifically want to do something different?
I'm thinking like, oh, I got to pivot, or I just want it to be authentic to me, and I want it to be something that'll sustain my interest for years because that's how long it takes to direct a movie. I loved putting music to this film, so
Okay.
there maybe might be a musical element in the next one. I don't know, but I'm just creatively like surfacing from Wish You Were Here. I'm totally hooked. I want to do it again. Don't know exactly what that will be.
Nice. Can't wait for you to do it again. Hopefully, it's got as good a soundtrack because boy, was that a good soundtrack.
Yeah, thank you. I want to talk to you all day long.
I aim to please. Congratulations, and I can't wait for the next time. So take a beat, take a break, and then get back and start raising some money.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Thank you. Congrats.